Hello, this is Danielle Yawowiecka with the BBC News. President Biden is beginning an address to a joint session of Congress to mark his first 100 days in office. He's expected to offer support to the middle class and blue-collar workers and to redress economic inequality by investing billions of dollars into education and childcare. This will be paid for by reversing Donald Trump's tax cuts on the wealthiest Americans. Lebra Duseko is in Washington.
I think that he is certainly putting an ambitious plan forward. The two plans that will work together, or proposals that will work together, the American Jobs Plan and the American Families Plan, together come to about $4 trillion in spending. So yeah, this is certainly more than a transitional president. It is a president that wants to really change the role of government here in America and change social spending here. But I think the message that he wants to get across is America is back. America is going to go from really crisis to opportunity.
The Federal Reserve has said that economic activity and employment in the United States have strengthened, but a meeting of the central bank's main policymaking committee has decided not to change its current measures to encourage recovery. The chairman of the Fed, Jerome Powell, said there were clear signs of economic revival.
We're making our way through an unprecedented series of events, really, in which a synchronized global shutdown is now giving way to widespread reopening of economies many places around the world. In the United States, fiscal and monetary policy continue to provide strong support. Vaccinations are now widespread, and the economy is beginning to move ahead with real momentum.
But Mr. Powell said the Fed's main interest rate would stay at zero. The Manhattan home and office of Rudy Giuliani have been searched by the FBI as part of their investigation into the business dealings in Ukraine of former President Trump's personal lawyer. Electronic devices were among items seized. Investigators are looking into whether Mr. Giuliani illegally lobbied the Trump administration on behalf of the Ukrainian government, as well as allegations of money laundering and campaign finance violations. Mr. Giuliani's son, Andrew, accused the Justice Department of not acting independently.
Any American, whether you're red or blue, should be extremely disturbed by what happened here today, by the continued politicization of the Justice Department. This is disgusting. This is absolutely absurd, and it has to stop. If this can happen to the former president's lawyer, this can happen to any American. Enough is enough.
18 serving French military officers who signed an open letter warning of the risk of civil war are to face sanctions before a military council. The head of the French armed forces, General Francois Lecointre, said the officers could be delisted. You're listening to the World News from the BBC. An international charity has documented the devastating effect of war on the mental health of young Syrians. Save the Children says that in the last 3 months of 2020, 1 in 5 of all suicides or attempted suicides in northwest Syria were by children. The Venezuelan Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino says 8 soldiers have been killed in clashes with armed groups on the border with Colombia. Venezuela launched a military offensive at the end of March against criminal gangs and dissident former FARC rebels from Colombia. 2 children have been killed and 16 other people injured after a man carried out a stabbing attack at a nursery school in the city of Beiliu in the southwestern Chinese province of Guangxi. Local media say the injured are being treated in hospital. Police have arrested a suspect. Tributes have been paid to the former Apollo 11 astronaut Michael Collins, who's died at the age of 90. His crewmate Buzz Aldrin praised him on Twitter, saying that he'd carried us to new heights and the future. NASA said he'd inspired generations. Michael Collins orbited the command module around the moon in 1969, and his crewmates Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first humans to land on the lunar surface. Here's Reagan Morris.
Michael Collins was often called the forgotten astronaut. As his colleagues basked in the limelight of their moonwalk, he was orbiting 60 miles above them, piloting the command module spacecraft that would carry them safely back to Earth. General Collins said his view of the Earth from that distance looked bright, beautiful, serene, and fragile. His job was often called the loneliest in the world. When orbiting the far side of the moon, he was completely cut off from his fellow astronauts and from mission control in Houston. But General Collins says he liked the experience and the view of the stars. President Biden paid tribute to Collins as an equal partner in Apollo 11.
BBC News.